Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Daya Sindhu Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So yeah, today is Bahulashtami. So I would like to, I'd like to take many classes today. Thank you so much. So whoever, according to your convenience, please attend the classes. Thank you so much.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now we're going to discuss Laghu Vaishnava Toshani by by Srila Jiva Goswami, translated into English by His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj. My humble obeisances to His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and all the Acharyas in the Sampradaya. My humble obeisances to all of you on Zoom, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Thank you so much for your motivation and support. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's continue with the Laghu Vaishnava Toshani. Okay. So yesterday we completed in chapter 9, verse 19, we completed. So today we are continuing with verse 20. Okay. Text 9.20. Nemam virincho na bhavo na shrir api anga samshraya prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapa vimuktidat. Neither Brahma nor Shiva nor even the goddess of fortune, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Lord, the deliverer from this material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yashoda. So, even great Brahma is is like, he is responsible for the secondary creation in this universe, and Shiva is also not a Jiva. Okay, and even the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, she is the wife of Vishnu. All these people are so great, but in spite of their greatness, they cannot get mercy which was received by Mother Yashoda. Okay, she received so much mercy from Krishna, that even these people are like, uh, which even these great people also could not receive. So here, Yashodama is being glorified. Commentary. Parikshit asked how Nanda attained such a position as the father of Krishna. Shukadeva began to illustrate the intimate relationship from the beginning of this chapter by telling the Damodara pastime. Now, the true answer is presented in two verses after describing the situation in the previous verse. So, Parikshit Maharaj is uh, because he's listening to Shukdev Goswami's recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he's putting forth some very important questions. So he's asking, how did Nanda Maharaj get the fortune of having Krishna as his son? Okay, so because it's very difficult, even the great people like Brahma, Shiva, and Lakshmi could not get such great fortune like Yashodama and Nanda Maharaj, especially Yashodama. So for that, Shukdev Goswami gave the answer from the beginning of this chapter. But yeah, so he's giving the intimate relationship from the beginning of this chapter by telling the Damodara pastime. Okay, during the pastime, like, we know how intimate Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are. And but in these two, specifically in these two verses, now the true answer is presented in two verses after describing the situation in the previous verse. Okay, so Brahma is the guru of the devotees, because even for us also, our Adi Guru is Brahma. So Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay. So of course, Krishna is the source of Brahma. Okay. Krishna is the most topmost. But as a devotee, like, we start from Brahma. So Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Brahma is the guru of the devotees. Shiva is a good example of a devotee. Okay. Because we say Shiva is the best Vaishnava. Lakshmi is the Lord's eternal consort and takes shelter of his body, Anga Samshraya, sitting on his chest. She's so she's also an eternal concept of the Lord, and she takes shelter of his chest. Okay, so she's very, very intimate to the Lord. But they did not attain mercy in the form of great bhakti. But we praise bhakti. Okay, the bhakti is very, very, like, is taking glorified so much. So, but none of these Brahma or Shiva or Lakshmi, they did not attain mercy in the form of great bhakti. However, Yashoda, queen of the gopis, received something indescribable from the Lord, who is the giver of liberation. So, the Lord also gives liberation, but he gives something indescribable, okay, to Yashoda Ma, who is the giver of liberation. Okay, Lord is the giver of liberation, but he gave us something more precious. Muktim dadati karhichit smana bhakti yogam. The Lord gives liberation, but not bhakti. So Srimad Bhagavatam 5.6.18. So the Lord easily gives liberation. Of course, it's not as easy, but at least it's easier than giving bhakti. Okay, Lord gives bhakti only to those people who really deserve that. Of course, even that is easy because of the mercy of the devotees. But in spite of everything, everybody will not get bhakti so easily. Even you can get liberation also. Generally, the Lord gives liberation. Yashoda attains something unspeakable, yet tat, explained previously as mercy in the form of the highest prema. So, but Yashodama attained something unspeakable. You cannot describe it in words. Explained previously as mercy in the form of the highest prema. So, in the previous verses, you can understand that as the mercy in the form of the highest prema. Being an exclusive object, it is simply called tat. Because it is exclusive, it's called tat. Brahma, Shiva, and Lakshmi did not receive this prema, or what Yashoda attained, Brahma, Shiva, and Lakshmi did not attain. The negative is repeated 3 times for emphasis. Okay, so this negative aspect is anything we repeat 3 times, as Prabhupada says, uh, that is the thing. Okay, it is like you have to do it like that. So the negative, even okay, the negative is repeated 3 times for emphasis. Lakshmi was the dearest, thinking that she belonged to the Lord, being situated on his chest. She had possessiveness of the Lord and was obedient to him, but she was filled with knowledge of the greatness of the Lord. Okay, because she had this Aishwarya Bhava, like, she understood that the Lord is great, the powers of the Lord, she could understand. That is why she could not get this mercy. The possessiveness of Yashoda was not disturbed by anything else. Though Lakshmi had the possessiveness of Vishnu, she realized the greatness of Vishnu, the Lord. So she didn't get as much mercy as Yashoda, because Yashoda was not disturbed by anything else. She didn't know the powers of the Lord Krishna. She even sometimes, if she realizes the powers, she immediately forgets it because of her affection for the Lord. All that is covered by Yoga Maya immediately. And she immediately thinks Krishna is her own son, and she can do whatever she wants with her own son, like anybody can do with their own son. Because if she comes to realize he's the Supreme Lord, naturally she will have uh, that feeling, like, that she needs to have reverence for the Lord. But here she does not have any such disturbances at all. She is simply thinking that Krishna is her own son, sweet little son. She thought Krishna depends on me. I must see to his welfare alone. So she was thinking, oh, Krishna is my little baby. He depends on me. I must only take care of his welfare. I must see to his welfare alone. I am only responsible for him, for his welfare. She's thinking like that, like any other mother. That prema was intense, and the mercy was intense, and she had so much prema, so much love for Krishna, that mercy was also, and the mercy was intense, because according to our level of bhakti, the Lord responds, okay, and he gives so much more mercy. Of course, he gives mercy to everybody through the devotees, and but we need to accept that mercy, and then accordingly we need to act. So if we show more love to Krishna, the more love, mercy we receive. What more can be said? Krishna belonged to her. Such mercy could not be attained by a benediction from Brahma, as stated in the last chapter. Brahma later prays. So Krishna belonged to her. Actually, such mercy could not be attained by a benediction from Brahma, as stated in the last chapter. Okay, Brahma later prays, Tad bhuri bhagyam iha janma kim athavyam yad gokulepi katamangri rajobi shekam yad jivitam tu nikhilam bhagavan mukundas twadyapi yat padaraja shruti mrigyam eva. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth, whatever, in this forest of Gokula and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Lord Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-34. So, Brahma now prays to the Lord Krishna and he says, my greatest possible fortune would be to take birth, whatever, in the forest of Gokula and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. So he prays that he gets a birth in the Gokula. Gokula is the innermost part of this Vrindavan where Krishna was born. Okay. So he wants to be born. Have a birth there in whichever form doesn't matter is whatever it because whatever it is okay, it's Krishna's mercy, I don't mind, but I want to have my head he wants to bathe his head in the dust of the falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. He's not telling gopis or anybody, he says any of the residents because he's taking such a humble position because he knows everybody in Braja is great, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Of course, the greatness varies. There are degrees of greatness, but he's not worried about all that. He simply wants, he's glorifying Vraja, okay, and its residents here. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Lord Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. So the entire life and soul is the Supreme Lord Mukunda, okay? So is Krishna, and the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. You see the Vedic mantras, Vedas, it's very difficult to understand Krishna. So, but here easily they're getting the dust of the Lord Krishna, of Krishna, forget about the Lord, they're not treating him as the Lord. So they're getting the dust of Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-34, 10.14.34. So now text 9.21. Nayam sukhapo bhagavan dehinam gopika sutaha jnaninam chatma bhutanam yatha bhakti matam iha. The Lord, son of Yashoda, is not easily available to materialists or to jnanis with realization of Atma, but is easily available to persons with devotion to the son of Yashoda. So, Krishna, who's the son of Yashoda, is not easily available to materialists, okay, and to the karmis or to the jnanis or to the yogis who do the Ashtanga yoga, but is easily available to the devotees, okay. And is here addressed as the son of Yashoda because he's the highest. This form of Krishna is the has the highest, like rasa in terms of rasa, like so he has the highest rasa. Commentary: how did Yashoda attain her position? How can others attain such a position? So now the question is asked, how did Yashoda attain her position? How can others also attain such a position? The Lord, son of Yashoda, is not easily attained by austerities or other means by people who identify themselves as possessors of the body, Dehinam. If there is association with devotees somehow at some time, then gradually a person will attain this. So they're telling Yashoda is not easily attained by austerities. I mean, not Yashoda, the son of Yashoda, Krishna, is not easily attained by austerities or other means by people who identify themselves as possessor of the body, means materialists, because we are thinking we are this body. We are not thinking we are this soul, okay? Actually, we are not this body, okay? The soul is covered by the jiva is covered by the subtle and the gross bodies, okay? So which is a covering actually. Depending on our karma, we get different kinds of bodies, okay? So once this body is gone, again we get another body according to the karma. So this keeps on repeating because we are continuously in bondage in the material world, okay? Until we are completely relieved of this bondage from this material world, then only we can attain the Lord. Only then we can attain Krishna. So Krishna is not easily attained by, because if we think we are this body, then we are continuing in this material world. If there is, so those kind of people even though they do lot of austerities, okay, or any other means, they will not attain Krishna. If there is association with devotees somehow at some time, then gradually a person will attain this. But if we get the association of a devotee, some devotees also, somehow we get it, like, by accidentally, or by the devotees come and give us mercy somehow or the other at some time, okay, at some time in our material life, then gradually a person will attain this. At that time he will slowly get the mercy of the devotees. Of course, Krishna also follows the devotee and gives mercy to the devotees, okay, to the to the person, and then they can slowly start doing bhakti and attain the mercy of the devotees and the Lord. Yetavan eva yajatam iha nishreyasodhaya bhagavat chachalo bhavo yad bhagavata sangata. Auspiciousness arises for the worshippers of devatas if firm devotion for the Lord arises from association with devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.11. So, auspiciousness arises for the worshippers of devatas if firm devotion for the Lord arises from association with devotees. So, just by worshipping the devatas, they don't get auspiciousness. It arises if firm devotion for the Lord arises from association with devotees. Okay, like that. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.11. So if they're worshipping the devatas and they realize that with the association of the devotees, if they realize that the Supreme Lord is the um, is the source of all these devatas, okay, and he is the one who's giving benedictions to these devatas. So they get this knowledge by associating with the devotees, with the devotee association. Then they realize the source of all the devatas is Krishna, and so they will start worshipping Krishna, okay. Gyanis who know they are not the body and realize their Atma, Jnaninam Chatma Bhutanam, cannot easily attain such a position, but they also can gradually if they have association of devotees. So these Gyanis, they are not like the karmis, they are not thinking that they are the bodies. They are having this knowledge because they are in Sattva Guna. They know that they are Atma, they are not this body. Even they cannot easily attain the position, such a position. Like but they can also gradually, if they have association of devotees, when they have the association of devotees, then they also start doing bhakti. Some versions, and even to attain liberation for the jnanis, they need to include a little bit of bhakti in their jnana process. Only then they can attain liberation. Some, because liberation is in nirguna, okay, because if you are in the gunas, you cannot attain liberation. Some versions have Atma Potanam, Gyanis who cross samsara by means of realization of Atma. Okay, so these are the Gyanis who cross samsara by means of realization of Atma, who easily attains that position. The son of even getting that position is also not easy, but at least that is much easier than getting the position of bhakti. The son of Yashoda is attained easily by those dedicated to Krishna, Iha, to him. So, Krishna, whose address as the son of Yashoda is here, is attained easily by those dedicated to Krishna, those who do bhakti to Krishna, those who show affection to Krishna in a favorable manner. Those people can easily attain Krishna. It's not a difficult process, actually. If you don't do any offenses and follow the process, easily we can attain Krishna. Bhakti Marga is the easiest of all the processes. Those who have devotion for Mahanarayana are excluded. Okay, so they're having this Mahanarayana. So to Vishnu, those who are having devotion to Vishnu, they're excluded. Here we're only talking of the exclusive bhakti to Krishna. It is reasonable that the devotees of Narayana do not attain such a position, since those who identify with the body and the jnanis seeing Krishna as a material body, do not respect him. And those who worship Narayana, seeing his pastimes as a coward, even though they do not see him as a material entity, do not respect him. It's appropriate that devotees of Krishna alone attain such a position of bhakti, for only these devotees realize Krishna's pastimes as the highest. So, why these people who are uh, worshipping Lord Mahanarayana, they are not getting the same position as worshippers of Krishna? Because the gyanis, since those who identify with the body, that is the materialist, and those who are and the gyanis, these people, they see Krishna as a material body only, and so they do not respect him. And those who worship Narayana, seeing his pastimes as a coward, seeing Krishna as a coward boy, they do not see him as a, even though they do not see him as a material entity, they do not respect him. Though they treat Krishna as a spiritual entity, because he is in the form of a coward boy, they do not respect him as they have the reverence for Mahanarayana. So it's appropriate that devotees of Krishna alone attain such a position of bhakti. They only have this complete prema without the tinge of reverence for Krishna. Okay. So, but they have respect for Krishna. They're not thinking, oh, this boy is a coward boy. Is like not like that. Like, they're not thinking in such a negative manner. Okay. So I hope you can understand the difference, what I'm explaining. For only these devotees realize Krishna's pastimes as the highest. Okay, because they got attracted to the madhu. They got attracted to the sweet pastimes of Krishna in Vraja, in Vrindavan. So this is the highest, like, Purnatama, okay? Purna, Purnatara, and Purnatama, complete. In Dwaraka, it is Purna. Whereas in Mathura, it is Purnatara, and in Vraja, it is Purnatama, complete, okay? So these people attain the highest bliss because the pastimes are so sweet without the tinge of reverence or anything at all. The powers are not exhibited so much. Even if they're exhibited, it's all like covered up. And these people are only looking at Krishna as a little boy, coward boy, and they're showering their affection to Krishna. Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena Maya-shritanam naradarakena sakam vijahshu krita punya punja. In this way, with an abundance of splendor caused by Krishna, they played with him, though his pure consciousness or happiness known as Brahman for the Gyanis, the supreme lord for the devotees with Dasi Bhava, and an ordinary human child for those covered by material illusion. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.12.11. So, in this way, with an abundance of splendor caused by Krishna, they played with him, though he is pure consciousness or happiness, known as Brahman for the Gyanis. So, but these people in Raja, they consider Krishna as their, especially the people in Sakhya Bhava, the Gopas, who are almost as the same age of Krishna. Um, they consider him as the intimate friend. So they were very, very intimate with him, and they happily played with Krishna like normal boy, as if he's a normal boy. Okay, and they didn't show any respect to him in like as if he's a great lord, like that. They didn't treat him like that. Okay, and they were getting so much of bliss playing with Krishna. Actually, though he's pure consciousness or happiness known as Brahman for the Gyanis, because these people, they are not having any other feeling. They only have this feeling of consciousness. That's all. They have nothing else, like, So what can they do? They can't interact with anybody, or for that matter with the Lord. So they cannot get that happiness what these people are in Vraja are experiencing. So, or as Brahman for the Gyanis, the Supreme Lord for the devotees with Dasya Bhava, and an ordinary human child for those covered by material illusion. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.12.11. So, for the people in Dasi Bhava also, they also don't get that much of bliss, because Supreme Lord for the devotees with Dasi Bhava, and an ordinary human child for those covered by material illusion. So those who are covered by material illusion, who are materialistic, those people also will see Krishna as an ordinary material as an ordinary human child. Okay, so they see as Krishna as an ordinary human child. Shrimad Bhagavatam 10.12.11. The word Gopika Sutta is not a secondary descriptive element, since it indicates that the highest position was given to Yashoda, the coward woman. So now when you address Yashodama as Gopika Sutta, is the word Gopika Sutta means Krishna is addressed as Gopika Sutta because son of Gopika, Gopi. Okay, here the Gopi is Yashodama. Okay, the elderly Gopi, Yashodama. Is not actually, this is not a secondary description. Okay, this is the primary description because Krishna was not only born to Devaki and Vasudev in Mathura, he was also born. Another Krishna was also born in Vraja, in Gokula, okay, at midnight to Yashodama. So, and when Vasudev brings that Krishna to protect him from Kamsa, so he crosses this Yamuna and he comes in the midnight and he places this Krishna besides Yashodama, and he takes the female baby. He's thinking he's taking some baby, so he's taking the baby which is there, and it was happened to be a female baby. So, which is a Yogamaya. So he takes that baby and he goes to Mathura. And here these two Krishnas are there, no? The one Krishna from who's born in Mathura and one Krishna who's born in Gokul. These two Krishnas merge and they become Krishna, one Krishna. Okay, so you can, so it's not a secondary description to say that Yashodama is the not the actual mother of Krishna. So that's why they're addressing here as Gopika Sutta, means Krishna as the son of Gopika, that is who's Yashoda. Okay, so it indicates the highest position was given to Yashoda, the coward woman. The word Iha to him indicates to Krishna, son of Yashoda, since only such devotees attain such a position. Iha meaning in the world would be without function in the sentence. So the word The word bhakti matam, persons having bhakti, is used to indicate without distinction a succession of devotees in past, present, and future. Since the Vedas which teach bhakti and the parampara of teacher and student extends without beginning in the past and unlimitedly in the future. So this word bhakti matam refers to persons having bhakti, and it is used to indicate without distinction a succession of devotees in the past, present, and future. Okay, because since the Vedas, which teach bhakti and the parampara of teacher and student extends without beginning, Vedas are beginningless, it's eternal. So the devotees are also eternal. So you cannot describe this devotee, that devotee. So it's the devotees anadi, like, they are also from the beginning. You cannot, like, locate at which point the devotees came into existence. Okay, so it just refers to all the devotees, past, present, and future, which teaches bhakti. So present succession of devotees in past, present of the and future. Since the Vedas which teach bhakti and the parampara of teacher and student extends without beginning in the past and unlimitedly in the future. The special characteristic of the son of Yashoda is that in both states, sadhana and sadhya, prema, he gives happiness. So the unique characteristic of Krishna is that when you're doing sadhana as well as when you attain the goal, prema, at both the times, he gives happiness. Because when you're really doing pure bhakti, okay, even if it is in the sadhana stage or in the prema stage, you are attaining happiness. That is one of the symptom of doing pure bhakti. Even if it is sadhana, it is giving us happiness. Even if it is lesser intensity than prema, you're still getting happiness. Therefore, the devotees of Krishna spread over all time concentrate on the Lord as the son of Yashoda as their sadhana and attain him sadhya. That's why the devotees of Krishna who are spread all over at all times, they concentrate on Krishna, okay, on the Lord. How? As the son of Yashoda, as their sadhana and attain him, sadhya. Okay. So they focus on this Vraja Bhakti because Krishna as the son of Yashoda is referred to there only. He remains in that form eternally. So he always remains as the son of Yashoda eternally. He's perfect. Sometimes in prakata and sometimes unprakata. Sometimes in manifest pastimes, sometimes in unmanifest pastimes. So he's perfect in that form. Okay. Accepting Krishna as the son of Yashoda is a sadhana. However, this is not a sadhana for Yashoda, since if she performs that sadhana, there would be the fault of having to worship herself. So actually, Yashodama is not doing a sadhana like that, because if she does the sadhana like that, then she has to worship herself. So there would be fault of having to worship herself. There is no question of Yashoda attaining a position of happiness, for Krishna is the son of Yashoda. She's eternally the son, mother of Krishna. So there is no questioning of attaining the position, because a position is eternal. She doesn't have to do sadhana and get that position. As well as Yashoda, Nanda, and others are also included. So this means Yashoda, Nanda, and others are also included. Everybody else also is eternal. Okay. In the like Nanda Maharaj, also he doesn't attain that position by doing sadhana. They're all eternal. In the various mantras used during the Janmashtami Vrata and in Avarana Puja, worshipping of associates of the main deity during Archana, their names are mentioned. So, in the various mantras, used during the Janmashtami Vrata. So, the mantras we usually, when we do the devotees, we follow this Pancharatra, okay, worship for the deity. So, in this mantras recitation during Janmashtami Vrata, we use this in the various mantras used during the Janmashtami Vrata and in the Avarana Puja, worshipping of associates of the main deity during Archana, their names are mentioned. So we mentioned the names of this Yashoda, Nanda, and all this and their associates. Okay. Thus, previously, when I mentioned Drona and Dhara doing sadhana as expansions of Nanda and Yashoda, it was only a pastime in order to awaken your eagerness. So he says previously, though, when I mentioned Drona and Dhara doing sadhana as expansions of Nanda and Yashoda, because they want to attain the position of Yashoda and Nanda, this Drona and Dhara, they were doing sadhana. When I mentioned this, it is only because it was only a pastime in order to awaken your eagerness, he says. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I would like to end here. We will continue after a while. I'll tell the time later with some other pastimes, okay? Because we have very less time in our life. So it's better we use maximum. Actually, we should be 24 hours in Krishna Smarana. Okay. Of course, even our sleeping time, we replenish the body so that we can wake up and again do bhakti to the Lord. Okay. So, but 24 by 7, we need to use our body for service of Krishna, Guru and Krishna. Okay. Thank you so much. So I would like to take so many more classes in the course of the day. And I hope wonderful devotees like you people would also follow up and we can discuss on that. Thank you so much. We can all be immersed in Krishna Katha. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, do you have any doubt, Prabhuji? I would like to answer your questions if you have any.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, I have one doubt.
If
What
you
is the difference between the devotee and pure devotee?
Yes. So a devotee is actually, bhakti is pure. Okay.
Mm,
So even in sadhana stage, actually we are not pure, but bhakti
mm,
is pure. Okay. So
mm,
sometimes the devotee may be in tamoguna or rajoguna or sattva. Okay.
mm,
They are not completely out of the gunas. Okay. They are
mm,
not nirguna, but bhakti is nirguna. That is why in the third canto, we have
mm,
different kinds of bhakti mentioned there, the tamoguna bhakti, rajoguna bhakti, and the sattva bhakti. So
mm,
the devotee, uh, if you take the advanced devotees, who's a Uttama devotee, he is only focused on Krishna. He's not
mm,
having any other desire. Only his intention is only to please Krishna. He has no other desire. Okay, that is
mm,
anyabhilashita shunyam anukulenana Krishnanu Silanam. Okay, anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam. Okay, that is favorably doing bhakti to Krishna, and he has no other desire. Okay. But the person in sadhana is just started the process, bhajana kriya. Okay, of course, he might proceed with anartha nivritti or nishta, or he can be in asakti or bhava, whichever stage until, of course, bhava also we have traces of anartha present there. So even from that stage, one can fall down. Okay, only in prema we are completely pure. Okay, at that time only. Until then, we might have so many, so, little even bhava also, we might have a little traces of impurity. Okay, so we can have some desires. Maybe that's why they say if my devotee desires to go to Swarga, or if he wants liberation, or if he wants something materially, still I will give them. Krishna is telling because they have this desire, right? Only the, so it doesn't matter if they once in a while have some desire, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that is fine. So this is not pure. Purity means 100% pure. Okay, that is the Uttama stage where you attain the final stage prema, where you are completely 100% for Krishna. Here we might be 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, 20%, 90% is also not completely pure. Na? If you take a pure saffron, okay, you take pure milk from the cow, and you say, I'm just going to add only one drop of water. Is it pure what milk, Prabhuji? Still,
Yes.
it's not pure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that. So even in Baba, that is like adding one drop of water. So you understood? So we are not completely pure. In the purest stage is the prema stage, Prabhuji. Hope you understood. Hare Krishna. Yeah, any other doubt, Prabhuji?
No, no, Mataji, no, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.